Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Middlesex County Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that's happening this evening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at the same website where you registered for this session. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available on that site as well within about a week's time. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters, and we'll get started with Marywood University.
Good evening, everybody. I am here to talk to you a little bit about Marywood University tonight. So my name is Maria Temples. I'm an undergraduate admissions counselor. So if you're here tonight, I'm your admissions counselor. So if you need anything, my contact information will be placed at the end of the presentation. A little bit about Marywood. We have about 1,900 undergraduate students and just shy of 1,000 graduate students. I always say that 3,000 students is kind of a sweet spot. We're small enough where you know a lot of people and you always see a familiar face. We have a really great sense of community, but we're big enough where there's a lot going on. So that's going to look like a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio and about 20 to 25 students in your major classes and about 30 to 35 in your general education classes. We cap our classes at 35 students, so we don't have any huge lecture halls. Professors teach all of your classes, so you really get to know them on a name-to-name basis. As you can see, our first-year retention rate and our six-year graduation rate is consistently higher than national average. From day one, so we're a day one school. That means from your very first day, your very first semester, you're diving into your major. Good examples would be architecture major. Your very first day, you're diving into design problem. Your very first semester and your very first year, you're diving into studio classes to get to know your major. With aviation, you actually get up in the air your very first semester. Nutrition and nursing, you get in the labs. So no matter what your major is, you're starting your very first year. You don't have to wait till your second or third year at Marywood. Student life. We have a lot going on campus. We have over 100 clubs and organizations on campus. They range from departmental clubs, music and art, athletics, faith and service. We also have a lot of leadership opportunities like student government, honor societies, orientation leaders, resident assistants. We also have a really comprehensive campus ministry department. They are awesome. You don't have to be Catholic to participate in any of their activities. They have a lot of different faith-based and service activities that are cool to get involved in. Fun on campus. So I always like talking about the different activities on campus. So we have a Marywood Activities Council that plans and runs events on campus. Believe it or not, bingo is actually one of the largest events on campus and most popular, but we have bingo, athletic tournaments, trivia nights, make your own food events. Even in the fall, we had a handful of students move on campus, and we actually had socially distant goat yoga. So we're trying to keep everybody involved even in these times. And then we have some big events like carnivals, formals, flapjack fest, where faculty get to flip pancakes for students the night before finals, Marywood Madness, which is our annual pep rally. Fun off campus. What I love about Marywood is we're kind of tucked in this quiet residential, very green, very safe section of Scranton, but we're only about 5 minutes from downtown Scranton. And as you can see, there are tons going on in the area. We're about 10 minutes from Dixon City, which is our shopping district. And then Montage Mountain that has skiing, snowboarding, there's a water park, and it has concert venue. That's only about 15 minutes away. So there's lots going on in the area and surrounding campus. So trips off campus, again, in normal times, we typically do off-campus trips about once a month. They're usually day-long events where, we go to Philly or New York, amusement parks, sporting events, drive-in movies, whitewater rafting, usually to the time of year, and they're always a lot of fun. Study abroad. I know I always get asked a lot, do we have study abroad programs? We do. We kind of have those traditional semester-long placements. So if you're interested in going for an entire semester and studying and living in another country for an entire semester, we have tons of options. Even for a lot of our more structured majors like nutrition, architecture, art, we have programs built in. Our architecture students their junior year actually get to go over to Florence, Italy, just because we want people to be able to study abroad if they choose. We also have faculty-led trips. So if you don't want to go for an entire semester, you can choose to take a class. My favorite to talk about is we have a travel writing class where you get to go with the communication department over to Ireland to talk about travel writing over spring break. And then we have summer trips, which is you take about a class or two during the summer and you're able to go and study abroad that way. Athletics. So we are a D3 school. We have 22 varsity teams, rugby being one of our newest sports. I love our athletics just because on Marywood campus, you really have that opportunity to dive into your major, but also be competitive in your sport. Our coaches really focus on making sure that our students get, study halls and are working hard in class, where our professors, are flexible and they help work with you to make sure that if you have an away game that you're able to make up your classwork. So we have a really great kind of sport academic balance on campus. Our athletes actually have won awards because they have such high GPAs. The admissions process. So we are rolling admissions, which means we don't have any firm deadlines. So we're on the Common App and we have our own application. Both are free to fill out online. If you're a junior, they typically open up in August, so you can anticipate that coming your way. If you are a senior right now, you have still plenty of time to apply. So feel free to head to our website or head on the Common App and fill out an application that way. But once your application's in, it takes about 7 to 10 business days for a turnaround time. So you'll get your decision within those about a week or two. And then we need you to submit 4 items. So a completed application, an official high school transcript, a letter of recommendation, and then for fall of 2021 applicants, we are test optional. For scholarships, so we do have a merit-based scholarship that you get with your decision letter. They range from about $16,000 to $23,000 per year. It's based on merit, so your transcripts, test scores. We evaluate each student individually. So get to know more. We do have in-person visit options right now. So if you're interested, please feel free to reach out to me, head to our website, check those out. But we do tours and you get to meet with an admissions counselor. We also have tons of virtual options, so virtual appointments, virtual tours, admissions info nights, and then we're on Instagram daily. So if you want to reach out to me, here is my contact information. Please feel free, ask me any questions that you need. And then this is our social media. So please feel free to reach out if you need anything. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And I'll turn it over to the host.
Great, thank you so much. Our next presentation this evening comes from Eastern Connecticut State University.
First of all, Maria, that's going to be a tough one to follow. But my name's Zeke DeWitt. I'm an admissions counselor at Eastern Connecticut State University. Actually, you're admissions counselor for New Jersey. So if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. One thing that I want to kind of start this off with that I'm very, very excited to announce is in the past couple of weeks, Eastern was able to create a new tri-state rate. So for students in New York and New Jersey, the tuition, room and board fees included everything is about $29,800 before any type of merit or need-based aid. Again, to have that opportunity, we're excited to be able to make it a little bit more affordable for students to come visit us from outside the state. But also being able to find that Eastern is a great place for them. Now at Eastern, we have about 4,800 total students on campus. We have 4,000 full-time undergraduate students, another 600 or so part-time undergrads, and then 200 graduate students with an average class size of about 22 and a student faculty ratio of 15:1. We really do focus on that small classroom experience because we want you to make sure that you have every opportunity to get to know your professors get to know you. You also get to know the people that you're working with in the classroom environment. Being able to have that opportunity to really be invested in that academic experience, both with your professors and with your classmates, we find really helps our students to be successful. And we have a lot of different ways to do that. Obviously, you have the classes in your major and potentially your minor. We have 47 majors, 59 different minors, but there's so many different dynamic ways you can do it. One of the best ways we find is our students taking part of our field experience courses. So what those are, imagine it's kind of like a shortened study abroad. So we do have traditional study abroad experiences as well. But these are the opportunity for you as a student to take a semester-long course at Eastern. You then either between semesters or at the end of the academic year, that class will go on a trip. We've gone to South America for about 50 years. We've gone to Europe, we've gone to Greenland, we've gone to Iceland, we've gone to a lot of different places. And we find that those experiences really reinforce what you've learned in the classroom. It's one thing to learn about something in the class and to see it, but to be able to go actually where it is, we find, leaves a little bit more lasting impression on you guys as students. Now, many of you probably aren't too familiar with the geography of Connecticut. I know that I have another Connecticut school in here too, so I'm pretty excited to kind of, have somebody who can maybe explain it a little bit better than I might be able to. But where we are in Willimantic, Connecticut, is about 35 minutes east of Hartford. We're about 15 minutes south of Yukon, an hour and a half away from Boston, hour and a half from Providence, 2.5 hours to New York City. And we find that that location allows our students to get involved in all those cities. We do day trips to all of them. We've done weekend trips to DC or to Philadelphia, but at the same time allows them to come back to a very suburban campus. It allows you guys as students to be able to have those experiences in the big city, but at the same time be able to come back to a suburban, very traditional campus in that way. But also be able to, again, know where you are. We have a great relationship with the town that we're in. There's no big walls around us. Eastern is regularly ranked as one of the top 25 safest schools in the country, and being able to experience things both on campus but also off campus, be able to go to Willimantic, be able to grab nachos, being able to do simple things and still be able to enjoy that experience, we find is really, really important. Now, the application process, sorry about that, I got a little distracted. So our application process, we are rolling. So Maria, I appreciate you kind of giving the nuts and bolts of it, so I don't have to give too much about it. But with our application process, we are rolling admissions. So the earlier you apply, the earlier that you're going to hear back from us. Our goal is to get you a decision within 2 to 3 weeks. Usually it's a little bit quicker once we have everything that we need. We are test optional. We were test optional before all this happened. We're going to continue to be test optional after this happens, or after this ceases. So we don't need those test scores. However, if you do want to submit test scores to us, the average student will apply with an SAT score of somewhere between 1020 to 1190, which on the ACT is a 19 to a 24. And then the average admitted student for this past class was a 3.4 GPA on a traditional 4.0 scale. Now, if you don't know if the test scores hurt or help your application, feel free to reach out to me. We can have those conversations ahead of time. We work with students in that way. So if you think that your SAT scores are actually going to hurt your application, we think they're going to help you, and we have a copy of them, we're going to reach out to you. We're going to have those conversations with you. I want to see the best version of your application. I want to see the best version of who you are. And sometimes it is adding something to the application, but sometimes it's also taking something away. We also require 2 letters of recommendation, one from a teacher, one from a counselor. We read very holistically at Eastern, which essentially means the more information we have, the more comfortable we are making a decision. We want to know you both as a student and as a person, and being able to have those letters of recommendation, being able to know what you're interested in doing, we find really allows our students to be more successful if they do choose to come to Eastern. So quickly, student activities, what we have on campus. We have 19 Division III athletic teams in the Little East Conference. We've won the Commissioner's Cup for the winningest program over the last couple of years. We've also won the President's Trophy for highest GPA. We have over 90 clubs and organizations that put on over 2,500 events every year. You do the math, that's about 25 events a club. Given that the academic year to college is shorter, it means there's always something going on. We are fortunate that most of our residential students came back to campus this past fall and came back again in the spring. So while everything on campus isn't quite as it was before, it's still pretty good. We also are doing in-person tours, so feel free to go on our website. We have regular tours and Skype tours as well. And if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out to me after this. But thank you guys very much again for coming today.
Great, thank you so much. And our next presentation this evening comes from DeSales University.
All right, thanks, Owen. So good evening, everybody. My name is Jordan Loeb. I am your admissions counselor for DeSales. So tonight, just talking generally about the university. I'm going to post a link to our virtual tour. We are doing both on-person and virtual tours. So if you haven't seen campus yet, the virtual tour is a great place to start, but hope you get the chance to come, because you get a completely different feel for it when you're on campus as opposed to doing something virtually. But DeSales in general, it is a small private Catholic university. We're actually the only Catholic university in the United States that's run by the Oblates of St. Francis de Sales, and Oblates are just what we call our priests. So we do have a very unique style and philosophy as far as education goes that we pass down to our students, mainly being that our mantra is be who you are and be that well. So we want all of our students to recognize their gifts, their talents, And we at DeSales kind of amplify them. So we're not looking to change who you are or anything like that. We're taking the strengths you have coming in, amplifying them, and then sending you out into the world to really make a difference. Campus itself is the best of both worlds, because on campus it does seem very secluded. We're surrounded by farmland, but we're 15 minutes outside of Bethlehem and Allentown, Pennsylvania, which are like two medium-sized cities with a lot to do. And in a bigger sense, we're part of the Lehigh Valley region of Pennsylvania. And the Lehigh Valley area is the third largest metro area in Pennsylvania, right behind Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of opportunities there to do extracurricular activities, whether it is going into Bethlehem, they have a downtown shopping district, or just walking around, they'll have cultural festivals, music festivals, things like that. And then Allentown is where all the Philadelphia minor league teams are. If you want to get away from the minor league teams, Philadelphia is only an hour south and New York City 2 hours away. So really what that means is it's a lot of opportunities for internships as well for our students. The largest employer in the Lehigh Valley is healthcare, and healthcare is what DeSales is known for, followed by business. There are a lot of startups coming to the Lehigh Valley. And again, business is what we're known for. So talking more about the programs we're really recognized for. As far as medical programs, we do have an accelerated physician assistant program, which is a direct entry program where you do 3 years undergrad, go direct to the graduate program. We do have an accelerated physical therapy program as well, where it's a 3-year undergrad program, again, directly to the doctorate phase at DeSales, and a direct entry nursing program. So those are kind of the big 3 that tend to be our most popular. Right behind healthcare, business is popular, and we have a business program for anything you can think of, from regular business administration to accounting and finance. We have supply chain management, different things like that. You can double major in those programs very easily, and we have accelerated MBA programs of either 4.5 or 5 years, depending which one you choose to get into. We do have a performing arts program as well. So with that, we have theater, dance, and TV film. There is an audition piece incorporated in the admissions process to make sure you are acceptable into those programs, but they put on shows year round. The theater program puts on about 10 a year. The dance department usually puts on 4, 2 in the fall, 2 in the spring. And TV film, they're always filming. With us, because we're a small university, any program uses the technology that their field is using from day one. So for TV film, for instance, freshmen are using cameras. They're getting their hands dirty, they're seeing what it's like, so they have 4 years experience. So by the time they graduate, they can apply to jobs and say, hey, I know how to use the tech. And more and more of our students are being hired faster that way because they have the experience necessary to do the job. Behind performing arts, criminal justice is our next biggest one. We do have a program where you can go to the Allentown Police Academy your senior year in spring semester, so you graduate with your criminal justice degree and having gone to the police academy, so you can apply for police jobs within Pennsylvania. It does give you the Act 120 certification. If you choose to work in New Jersey, it is a little different, but at least covers your bases for Pennsylvania. So that kind of covers the big programs we have. We're liberal arts, so we're really all over the place, but those are the big ones our students typically like to get involved in. As far as student activities, we have a club for anything you could want to be involved in. We have academic clubs, we have Cops and Kids, especially volunteering for us is really big. With Bethlehem and Allentown being right next door, we do volunteer opportunities in those 2 cities just about every day. Whether that's doing tutoring for local middle school students, we'll do Habitat for Humanity builds, we'll do homeless shelter outreach, things like that. Our community service department also does international trips, which are really cool because you pay the plane ticket, everything else is covered. While I was a DeSales student, I did 2 of those trips. So I went to Nicaragua, and that's typically over spring break. They'll go somewhere in Central America. And then during the summer, they flip-flop between South Africa and India. So as a student, I got to spend 2 weeks in South Africa as well. Again, I paid for the plane ticket. Everything else was covered. I didn't pay for a hotel, meal, anything. So if you want international experience, it's there. If you want to do a full study abroad semester, we have those available as well. Our flagship location is in Rome, Italy. And it's actually unique because DeSales and Villanova are the only 2 U.S. schools that actually have an agreement with the Vatican, where we have students who intern at the Vatican. So if you do study abroad in Rome, you can intern there, work in their pontifical offices, help out with different things, have the Pope as a reference when you start applying for jobs. So it is a pretty good trade-off that a lot of students take advantage of. But as far as studying abroad, it's anywhere you could want to go. And if we don't have something set up, you can work with our director of global learning. So long as it's safe to get you somewhere, he's going to work really hard to get you there and make sure the credits transfer in and everything like that. As far as housing on campus, we do guarantee housing for all 4 years, and all of our residence halls, including the freshman dorms, are suite style. So that means 2 rooms share a conjoined bathroom, so you're not fighting over 2 shower stalls with 11 other students or anything like that. There is heating and air conditioning right in the room, so you and your roommate get to set the temperature. It's not a building-wide consensus of, okay, it's cold, let's turn the heat on. It's whatever you guys want to do, and you can keep it that way year-round. As far as the admissions process, we are rolling like the other two universities. So if you are a senior, there is still time to apply, and you can do that now on Common App or on our website. Either one is perfectly fine. We need your application, 2 letters of recommendation, and your transcript. We are SAT optional for the fall. I foresee us staying SAT optional if you're thinking fall 22. But we don't have anything set in stone for that yet. So that's everything we need. Once we have it, it's 2 to 3 weeks. You get your decision in the mail. And then so long as you did file a FAFSA, you can expect financial aid to come 2 to 3 weeks after you get your decision. So everything for us is like 2 to 3 weeks. So it's a nice little breakdown. And like I said, we are open for visits. So if you haven't had the chance to already come to campus and check it out, hopefully you do. And I will post all that information in the chat feature. Thanks.
Great, thank you so much, Jordan. As we're about halfway through our presentations, just a reminder that the Q&A button at the bottom is available to ask questions specifically of one institution or to all of our presenters tonight. Up next, I'm pleased to present Millersville University.
Hi everyone, my name is Josh. I'm from admissions at Millersville University. And if you've never heard of Millersville University before, we're probably the coolest college out there that you guys need to know about. To get started, this is a picture of our president, Dr. Wuba. Dr. Wuba is our 15th president at Millersville, and believe it or not, he's actually a king from Ghana, Africa. So not many colleges can say that their president is also a king. We do receive Ghanaian delegations on our campus. He does take students with him to Africa as well, but his wife makes a wicked peanut soup if anyone's into African cuisine. A little bit more about Millersville. We've got a lot of different programs. As a medium-sized school with about 7,000 undergrads and about 1,000 graduate students, we've got everything from biology, education, business, to some of the more hard-to-find programs like entertainment technology, music industry, meteorology, robotics, and automation. So whether you know exactly what you want to study when you go to college or you're not entirely sure, chances are pretty good that we've got something just right for you at Millersville. Now, our location is in kind of the central part of Pennsylvania. We're about an hour west of Philadelphia and about an hour north of Baltimore. So for most places in Jersey, we're about 2 to 3 hours, depending on traffic and where you are, which is a perfect distance to be away from home. Another awesome thing about our location is we are a stone's throw from Hershey Park. So if you've ever been to Hershey Park before, or maybe you want to get away from Great Adventure and see what other theme parks have to offer, a lot of our students, who come locally from our area work at Hershey Park. So Hershey Park is a great option. We also have a train in Lancaster as well. So if you're anywhere near New Jersey Transit or Amtrak, it's super easy to get to us, whether you have a car or not. Now, our academics are top-notch at Millersville, and they should be. That's why we want you to come to us. But we have a ton of stuff to do outside of the classroom as well. So we have fraternities and sororities. We have religious organizations, a television station, a marching band, a football team. Our swimming pool even has a sound system in it, so you can hear music when you're underwater. So whether you're the kid who wants to go to college to make friends from all around the world, or maybe you are the gamer that has the headphones on until 3 a.m. blowing up zombies, there are people like you on our campus. So at a place like Millersville, you never have to worry about being alone. Now, if you're like me and you like to sleep, Millersville is a great place to be, because the place where all of our students stay are our brand new suite style residence halls. So it's only 2 people per bathroom, air conditioning, Wi-Fi, and parking for freshmen. So if you have a car, you are allowed to bring it with you freshman year. But my favorite thing about the residence halls, when we built them a few years ago, we also bought a food truck for the construction workers so that they would have a place to eat lunch. But what ended up happening was the students started using the food truck more than the construction workers. So when we caught on to that, we rebranded the food truck. It drives around campus during the day now like an ice cream truck, and you can use your meal plan there. And the best thing to get from the food truck is this sandwich called the Villainator, which is a cheeseburger as big as your head with mozzarella sticks and marinara sauce. Not good for you, but it sure does taste good. And speaking of food, if you're like me and you like to eat, Millersville is a great place to be, because we do all of our dining in-house. So at Millersville, all of our food comes fresh and local. We have our own executive chefs, pastry chefs, sous chefs, And if you have any dietary restrictions, anything like a gluten allergy, celiacs, we're also happy to work with you as well. Now, in terms of cost, like some other schools, we are currently offering reduced tuition for students from New Jersey. So right now, if you're a senior and you apply to Millersville and we're able to admit you, we're going to take $6,000 a year every year for 4 years off of your bill right off the bat. So you're looking at right around $30,000 a year before we even talk about merit scholarship. Most of our students do receive some type of financial aid at Millersville University. And the last thing that I have to go over is the application process. So if you are a senior, this is the time to apply. We already started our merit application process for the year, so definitely get your application in soon if you are thinking about applying to Millersville and you're a senior. If you're thinking about applying, you can apply to us over the Millersville app or the Common app. And once we get that application and your transcripts from school, that's all we need to complete your file. You don't have to send us SAT or ACT scores, but you can if you want. And most of our students, when they apply to us at Millersville, they have about a 3.5 GPA on a 4.0 scale or about an 1100 SAT reading and math. Don't forget, if you or any of your parents are eligible for anything like military benefits, at Millersville, we're very happy to help you get those processed. So thank you all so much for your time, and don't forget to get your application in.
Thanks so much, Joshua. Our next presentation comes to us from the University of New Haven.
Hi, Owen. I can't start my video.
Let me see if I can help. Sorry about that. Try it now.
Perfect. All right, everyone. Good evening, Middlesex County. My name is Nestor Rubiano. It is not Joshua Keeler. I am filling in for Josh today, but my name is Nestor Rubiano. I'm the admissions counselor for Middlesex County from the University of New Haven. So thank you all for attending, and hi to all my colleagues out there as well. That being said, I did want to share my screen really quick in regards to a quick college fair brochure that I could always get out to you guys as well. But that being said, we are the University of New Haven, located in West Haven, Connecticut. Yes, we are in Connecticut as well. More notable colleges in the area are Yale University, Southern, Gateway, and other colleges in the area, which makes us a college town. New Haven is the second largest city in Connecticut. It's known for its shops, museums, schools in the area, nightlife, and of course, most importantly, it's pizza. So if you're ever in the area, definitely try us out. University of New Haven, we have about 5,000 full-time undergraduate students. We have over 100 plus majors and programs, 85 minors and certificate programs, over 200 clubs and organizations like fraternities, sororities, and different sports clubs as well. Our student coming in has about an average 3.5 GPA, and then an average SAT of 1150 and an ACT average of 24. We have about 270 full-time faculty members. Our average class size is 22. We feel that that's super important so you can have that one-on-one with your professor. And we have a 16:1 student to faculty ratio. We are represented from all over the world. We have students coming in from 55 foreign countries. But that being said, we are super proud that the Princeton Review actually went ahead and named us the one of the top 386 best colleges in the United States. Along with other accolades that we have been receiving. We just turned 100 years old, so we're happy to say that we've had a lot of alumni or a lot of students come by, become an alumni and become very successful. And they have been able to go ahead and learn from different programs like accounting, criminal justice, which is voted #1 according to College Factual in the United States. We have a really great forensic science program, communications program, international affairs, marine biology, music industry, music and sound recording program. And we have an ABET accredited Tagliatelle College of Engineering with different types of disciplines within it. So when you get a chance to definitely look up all the different majors that we have that you could choose from. In terms of application, we just finished early decision and early action 1. You still have an opportunity to apply for early action 2, which the deadline is February 15th. And then we have rolling admissions for regular decision. We do take about 2 to 3 weeks in regards to getting you a decision. I've seen students get a decision a lot quicker if they have everything sent in. What we're looking for are your high school or college transcripts. We're looking for at least 1 letter of recommendation. And we are test optional. So this year you do not have to send your test scores if you feel like they don't represent you. If it's a matter of you're on the brink whether you should send them in or not, always reach out to myself or Josh or anyone at admissions, and we'll be able to point you in the right direction. Our job is to try to help you get into the best position possible. If you really are interested in the University of New Haven, we want to make it happen. We definitely recommend every student to send in financial aid, FAFSA. That way it can help with the bottom line. Our total cost, it comes around $58,000. That is the same for everyone. We don't distinguish in-state or out-of-state, but there's ways to cut that down with scholarships and financial aid. Right off the bat, when you apply, we automatically give you an academic scholarship that you don't have to reapply for. That can range from $10,000 to $26,000. And on top of that, there's a lot to do on campus. About 83% of our first year students live on campus. 65% are full-time undergraduate students that live on campus. So we're not a backpack school. So a lot of students from outside of Connecticut that do live on campus and make the campus lively. We have 9 dining options on campus and a lot to choose from around the area as well. We are located, like I said, in West Haven, which is right down the street from the beach. And I like definitely pointing this out because during the springtime, when warmer time comes out, a lot of students like to go down to the beach and enjoy their time out there. And rent is super affordable in the area. So if anyone is looking to commute, that's also a possibility. We're located in between Boston and New York City, and which is a great area to be able to go ahead and be able to get internships or jobs in the area as well. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at admissions or to myself. Other than that, thank you all for attending.
Great, thank you. We'll have time for Q&A after our final presentation, which comes to us this evening from Rowan University.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today and the rest of my colleagues. It's so great to see you all. I am going to share my screen. All right, so my name is Amanda Custer. I am your admission counselor from Rowan. I'll be the one recruiting you, reading your application, answering any questions you may have through the admission process and beyond. So a little bit about Rowan and our campus locations. When you think of Rowan, you're going to think of our main campus, which is at Glassboro. This is our residential facility. This is where 99.999% of your classes will be. It's where all the dining facilities are. Again, when you think of Rowan, you're going to think of this main campus here at Glassboro. We also have a commuter campus in Camden, New Jersey, right in the University District. So if you are looking to commute and this location is easier for you to get to, awesome. It's non-residential. So if you're living at the main campus in Glassboro and you want to take a class at the Camden location, you certainly still can. We do have a shuttle bus that will take you to and from the 2 campuses. We also have a location in Mullica Hill, which we call West Campus. That building right there is kind of like a business incubator lab, you can say. So different companies and organizations rent space out over there. So it's great for internship opportunities, job opportunities, getting hands-on experience with a startup. It also is home to our virtual reality labs, 3D print labs. If you're interested in chemical engineering, they are testing different types of asphalt at that location. It's also home to our practice fields, and right across the street is a brand new hospital. It's not Rowan affiliated, but it's just kind of nice to know that 2 miles down the road is a beautiful hospital. God forbid, you know, anything does happen. Speaking of hospitals and the medical field, we do have 2 medical schools here at Rowan. So we have Cooper Medical School of Rowan University in Camden, New Jersey. That is right near our Camden location. That Cooper offers a traditional MD. So if you are interested in pursuing that, we can offer it. And then we also have the Rowan University School of Osteopathic Medicine in Stratford, New Jersey. So both Camden and Stratford are about 20 minutes away from the main campus, just to give you an idea of where they are. And we do offer a 7-year program for each medical school. So it's a very competitive program. SAT scores are required for the 7-year med program. We get thousands of applicants for about 5 seats on average per medical school. So again, very competitive. Typically students who are interested in the medical field will do the 4-year undergrad and do our pre-health profession concentration. And then, move on to a medical school if they're choosing, or, a non-Rowan affiliated one. So just to go over some colleges and schools that we have here at Rowan, we have over 80 different academic programs. So if I were to go over every single one, we'd be here till Saturday probably. We don't have that much time. So it's just a really nice snapshot of some of the schools and colleges. Engineering is kind of what we're known for right now. We're in the top 20 nationally for our undergraduate programs. We have a very strong business school. I'm a proud Rowan alum of our Rick Edelman College of Communication Creative Arts. So if you're interested in really any area, I'm sure we offer it. And if you're unsure of what you want to study right now, totally normal. We have a really great exploratory studies program, which is really designed to help you find that right fit for you, right? We don't want you going for something and pursuing something that you're not happy with, or if you're on the fence between 2 programs, this program is really designed to give you the guidance and the support you need to make the best decision possible for your future. Just a little bit about our enrollment and what we can offer you here at Rowan. So we have about 16,000 undergraduate students, about 2,500 graduate students, for a grand total of just under 20,000 students. So we are considered medium-sized school, so we're not too big, not too small, kind of just right. Our campus is completely walkable, so you can walk from one end to the other end in 20-ish minutes, depending on how fast you walk. If it's snowing, raining, too hot, too cold, you just aren't in the mood to walk to class, we do have a shuttle bus that can take you, from your dorm, your apartment, to different stops across campus. And what's pretty cool is there's an app you can download, so you can literally track where the shuttle bus is. So you can leave your dorm or your apartment or your class, accordingly. So even though we have about 20,000 students, about 16,000 undergraduate students, we can keep an average class size at about 20. So we don't have any lecture halls, any teaching assistants. So the quality of your education is going to be pretty great. Your professor is going to know your name. It's not a student teaching your class, it's an actual professor. We don't have a very large adjunct faculty. So what that means is your professor is most likely full-time, most likely has a PhD. So again, that quality of education is pretty great. Just a little bit about the application process. So we are on Common App. We are Common App exclusive. So that's the only place you can find our freshman application. Like my other colleagues here on the call, we are rolling admissions. So as soon as we get all these pieces to your application, we can send out a decision within about a week. I'm the one who actually reviews your application. So as long as I have all of your pieces, I can go ahead and make that admission decision. So in addition to the Common App, we do need your high school transcript. We are test optional, and we've always offered test optional. This isn't like new news for Rowan. We will continue to offer test optional admission. Again, like my colleagues here, always have a conversation with us if you're unsure if you should submit scores or shouldn't. We want you to set your best foot forward, and we're here to help you. We're not here to hurt you. So always have that conversation if you are unsure. 2 letters of recommendation, and if you're interested in art, performing art, anything like that, there may be an audition or portfolio required for admission purposes. Just some deadlines. These are typical as the years goes on. So January 31st is typically our merit scholarship consideration deadline. So if there's any freshmen, sophomores, juniors in the room, that is the deadline to be considered for a merit-based scholarship. There's no additional application for that. As long as you get the application in by that deadline, you will be automatically considered for a scholarship. May 1st is that fall enrollment deadline. That's when you need to let me know, hey, Amanda, I'm coming to Rowan. I'm so excited. Or you need to let me know that you do not plan on attending. So you have plenty of time to kind of let us know what your game plan is. Just the average freshman applicant, again, just average, just there to give you that roundabout of what a student looks like here at Rowan. Everyone's favorite slide, the money. So tuition and fees is tuition and fees. Room and board can fluctuate depending on where you live on campus. But again, this just gives you a nice idea of what it will cost class here at Rowan. 31 different Greek life chapters, 13 plus dining options, plenty of clubs and activities to keep you busy while you are here on campus. And I think I'm being cut off, but if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box. We are open for tours, so I'd love to see you on campus.
Great, thank you so much.
No problem.
At this point, we'll bring back all of our presenters. We have a few moments remaining, and certainly feel free to continue using the Q&A widget at the bottom of your screen to ask questions of our various institutions. But in the order that we originally presented, we'll kind of wrap things up with one final question. And when a student does kind of enroll at your institution and get started there, what is one thing that they should look forward to, kind of one of your favorite events or traditions, something that really defines your campus?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I know for Marywood, one of my favorite things, I actually am a graduate of Marywood as well. So it was one of my favorite events as a student, as a grad student, and then now as an employee, it's our Christmas tree lighting. So we have a really beautiful rotunda in our liberal arts center. The artwork is worth a few $1 million. I believe it's like the third largest rotunda in the state of Pennsylvania. And so we put a huge Christmas tree in there every single December. And we have a tree lighting. So all of our clubs and organizations, they make handmade ornaments to hang on the tree. We have a daycare on campus, so those kids come. The community brings their children. The faculty, they actually let class out early. Our choir is on kind of the top floor of the rotunda singing Christmas carols, and our dining hall has ciders and Christmas cookies, and it's just a really great way to kind of feel the Marywood community. I say that event makes it almost feel tangible, like you can almost physically touch the Marywood community feel. So that's for Marywood.
Muted. So I think for me at Eastern, I think my favorite has to be our activities fair. It's the first or second week of the academic year, so it's pretty early on, but I think just being able to see the different clubs and organizations that we have on our campus, seeing those students, that you've talked through the admissions process, you've admitted to, to your respective institution, then seeing them get involved, seeing them sign up for things. It's, I think for us on our end, really selfishly kind of nice to see, but it's also cool because it allows students to really see what's available to them at Eastern. But at the same time, if they notice that there's not something that they're looking for, it's very easy to start their own. Actually, our Student Government Association, the Monday after the fair, will do a how to found your own club on campus. That way, students very early on in the academic year have the opportunity to found their own club if they don't feel that there's something on campus that they want to do. But being able to see students out in the quad, it's nice out. It's perfectly temperatured in early September. We bring the food from the dining hall, actually have food trucks and everything outside, just to kind of take advantage of the weather as well, is definitely one of my favorite events on campus.
Yeah, and for me, we always talk about the DeSales community, and you really feel it during our Ducksgiving, and the Duck is our DeSales University Center, which is our main cafeteria. So leading up to Thanksgiving break where students go home, we have a whole university-wide Thanksgiving Day meal. It's free for our students, faculty, and staff. So everybody comes, and it's a chance to get together, enjoy a meal. They hire a live band every year, so they're playing Christmas music a little earlier than I'd like, but they do have Christmas music for our students to sit and enjoy. But it's just a great chance to get together, see each other in that realm, see each other as people, not just a scary professor in the front of the room, and just come together during that time of Thanksgiving.
At Millersville, our campus is very old and very park-like. If you're into things like gingerbread houses and like hemlock trees, we actually have a swan pond on our campus, which is just like, it's nice if you're ever having a tough day, just like to relax, go walk around, be outside in nature. And surrounding our swan pond are cherry trees. So if you've ever seen cherry blossoms in the springtime, it's really something special. So I hope you all get to see it someday.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, sorry, I keep getting the order mixed up. So at Rowan, I think my favorite activity is back to the borough. So, Rowan's right in a suburban area. So having the opportunity to give back to the town in which our school lives in is probably one of my favorite events.
I'd say Spring Fest for University of New Haven. We sometimes get a brand or a big name performer to be able to come out and do concerts. We'll have different events in regards to arts and crafts or different team building events, food trucks all over the place. It's just a lively scene, lively area. Everyone gets together, it's warmer out, and you really feel like the community of the university out and about. So definitely something to look forward to when you're a student.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you to all of our presenters for sharing with us your institutions this evening, and thank you to all of you for tuning in to view this. When this webinar ends, there will be a link to a quick 4-question survey, and we would appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted this evening, including another session right after this, so feel free to sign up for additional ones on the same website where you initially registered for this session. Also, in about a week's time, a recording of this session and all others will be available on that same site. Thanks so much and have a great evening.